My name is Ameer Selden, and this is my famous or infamous speech. To be a poor man is hard, but to be a poor race in the land of dollars is very bottom of the hardship. These words were stated by W.E.B. Du Bois in an effort to motivate and uplift African Americans to strive and for more in life. Today I will be discussing W.E.B. Du Bois. I know this is a very uncommon name to most of the people in this listening audience, but today you will learn how famous he was in his day to all African Americans, men of color, and myself. W.E.B. Du Bois was a sociologist, historian, civil rights activist, and author. Some of his well-known books were Souls of a Black Folk, The Crisis, Philadelphia Negro, and The Lynching of Jesse Washington. Mr. Du Bois wrote books during a time in African American history that African Americans were considered incapable of being educated, but Mr. Du Bois dispelled those myths and wrote some of the most prolific books imaginable to all Americans. His books were created to inspire, uplift, and educate African Americans to reject their current class status and strive for a better life. In order for Mr. Du Bois to encourage his African American brothers and sisters to be more, he knew he had to be an example. So, in time, when it was rare for African Americans to go to college, Mr. Du Bois decided to apply and attend college. Relying on money donated by neighbors, Mr. Du Bois attended Fisk University, a historical black college in Nashville, Tennessee, from 1885 to 1888. His travel to and residency in the South was Mr. Du Bois' first experience with Southern racism, which encompassed Jim Crow laws, bigotry, and lynching. After receiving a bachelor's degree from Fisk, he attended Harvard College, which did not accept credits from Fisk. From 1888 to 1890, where he was strongly influenced by his professor William James, promotionally in an African American physical. Mr. Du Bois paid his way through 3 years at Harvard with money from summer jobs and inheritance, scholarships, and loans from friends. In 1890, Harvard awarded Mr. Du Bois his second bachelor's degree, cum laude, in history. In 1891, Mr. Du Bois received a scholarship to attend the sociology graduate school at Harvard. In 1892, Mr. Du Bois received a fellowship from the John F. Slater Fund for the Education of Freemen to attend University of Berlin for graduate work. While a student in Berlin, he traveled extensively throughout Europe. He came of an age intellectually in the German capital while studying with some of the nation's most promotional social scientists, including Gustavus von Semöller, Adolf Wagner, and Heinrich von Trenowski. After returning from Europe, Mr. Du Bois completed his graduate studies in 1895. He was the first African American to earn a PhD from Harvard University. In addition to education, Mr. Du Bois understood the values of a family unit. Mr. Du Bois credited slavery as our culture's long history of the breakdown of the family unit and worked hard at trying to get African Americans to understand the volume of united families, whether they are biologically families or bonded families. Mr. Du Bois lectured the importance of a two-parent household, in fact, keeping in line with determination to lead by example. Mr. Du Bois himself maintained a very close family unit. Mr. Du Bois was married twice. First to Nina Gomer, married in 1896, divorced in 1950, with whom he had two children with, a son named Burnett, who died as an infant, and a daughter named Yolanda. As a widower, Mr. Du Bois married Shirley Graham, an author, playwright, composer, and activist. Her son David Graham grew up very close to Mr. Du Bois and eventually changed his name to honor him. Mr. Du Bois' influence society in many ways. The most notable influence is probably his books, which are still bestsellers to this day. Mr. DuBois' novel, The Soul of a Black Folk, is often used by Afro studies historians as a tool for teaching. I could recite many things Mr. DuBois is noted for, but some of his famous accomplishments are being the co-founder of the NAACP, the first African American to receive a PhD from Harvard, being being one of the only African Americans in his time to take a trip around the world. The reason why I chose Mr. DuBois is because Mr. DuBois did not just tell people what they should do to make themselves better. He actually dedicated his life to being an example of how they should live. He knew education was the key to success, and he did not let the color or racism hold him back from receiving the highest education degree a person could have. His efforts paved the way for young African Americans like myself to better themselves. And that's my speech on Famous or Infamous. My name is Ameer Selden. Good day.